Oh, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Chef Randy. I am the teaching kitchen chef here in San Francisco for Guckenheimer. Head over to the chat and let us know where you're calling in from and where you're joining from. And yeah, any questions or comments throughout, feel free to drop them into the chat and we'll look forward to seeing you there. And yeah, we're super excited to be hosting this edition of Lead, Grow, Deepen. It's a speaker series that is designed to highlight the ways that we and our industry professionals lead with inclusion, grow diversity and representation, and deepen our industry partnerships. Very, very excited to be hosting here with Yao and 50 Hertz Foods. Yeah, if you're a member of the Guckenheimer team, make sure to check out the ERGs to stay connected to your fellow team members. And today, yeah, we're super lucky to be joined by founder and chief Tingle officer. Yes, chief Tingle officer of 50 Hertz Tingly Foods. And Yao, aka the Sichuan peppercorn king. I'm gonna say the king because you are the king of that. You have been amazing. So Yao, can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Thanks, everyone. My name is Yao Zhao. As Chef Randy said, I'm the founder and the chief Tingle officer at 50 Hertz Tingly Foods. I founded the company to introduce the amazing aroma and the unique, curious, tongue-tingling sensation from Sichuan peppers from my hometown to the world. I think this is such a unique sensation that more people in the world should know about. I think more chefs in the culinary world should make more food and beverages with Sichuan peppers. So that's my mission, and I want to tell you more about it.
Awesome. So there's a lot of misconceptions about Sichuan peppercorns. What are some of those myths that you would like to talk about today and kind of debunk a little bit?
I have to correct you right away.
All right.
So,
yeah.
So people say Sichuan peppercorns. It's actually, that's the biggest misnomer because Sichuan pepper, or actually huajiao in its Chinese name, has nothing to do with peppercorns because the flavors and the sensation are concentrated on the skins of the citrus berry. So Sichuan pepper is actually a citrus fruit. So the black seeds or the corn in the middle actually has no flavor. In fact, the lack of the black seeds is a sign of superior quality. So it's not a peppercorn because the flavor is not concentrated in the black seeds in the middle because it's on the shell or the husk of the pepper. So that's one myth that I want to debunk first. And actually, the other thing is Sichuan pepper, right? People think it's hot. People think, for example, my company, they think I'm a chili oil company or I'm selling hot sauce because people associate Sichuan with hot food, which is true. But Sichuan pepper or huajiao or flower pepper, actually in Chinese name, has nothing to do with heat. It has no capsaicin. It's super floral and it gives you a tingling and numbing sensation. So the second thing is Sichuan pepper is not hot. It's a citrus fruit. And then the third one, Sichuan pepper, it's actually not just grown in Sichuan in China. It's grown in the whole host of provinces and the cities and that whole region. So it's not just from Sichuan, it's from a lot of other provinces. And then the thing, lastly, Sichuan pepper has not just the red type, it has also the green variety. So people are familiar with the red Sichuan peppers because of the dishes, right? Mapo tofu, kung pao chicken. But there are actually the other variety, the green variety, which is super aromatic, actually much more aromatic than the red, and equally tingling. So yeah, I would start from there.
Yeah, that's always really great to understand. As I was reading more about Szechuan peppercorns, looking at the history, I found it really interesting that it was actually banned for quite some time. Can you tell us a little bit more about like the history of the Szechuan peppers in the U.S.?
Yeah, so it's actually quite unfortunate. The reason why Sichuan pepper is so misunderstood in this country, in the U.S., actually in a lot of the world, is because Sichuan pepper was banned for more than 40 years in the U.S. by the USDA because they made a mistake. They thought Sichuan pepper will bring the canker bacteria that will attack other citrus trees to the in the U.S. But actually, they realized, oh, that was a mistake. So in early 2000s, they lifted the ban, but they added a caveat: whoever is importing Sichuan peppers need to treat the peppers with heat and heat it up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you know, any heat is detrimental to the flavors, to the sensation. So so it's a very unfortunate history. But actually, about 10 years ago, they lifted even the caveat. So there's no restrictions now. But a lot of the mass market importers or spice importers, they actually didn't pay attention to any of this. So they still heat treat Sichuan peppers when they import. That's why whatever you can get on the market, usually the flavors are actually pretty dull and it doesn't do justice of this amazing spice.
Yeah, and that brings us to a little bit about your mission, right? Bringing it into the U.S. and working with the farmers stateside. Can you tell us a little bit more about your mission there?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Sichuan. I was born in this city called Chongqing, which has 34 million people that very few people have heard of. So it's a spice that's very dear to my heart. What I want to do is I want to introduce this spice to the world. I think it's super pretty, and it's actually, as you can see, perhaps.
We can pop that up on the close-up cam too.
Oh, there we go.
If anyone wants to see that up close.
Yeah. These are fresh harvests from the latest harvest. So harvest happens every summer in July and August. I want to bring the best quality Sichuan pepper from my hometown to the world. But at the same time, I want to create a new category of food. I want to create a new category of sensations in food and beverages. So these peppers actually are probably the best you can find. They are super floral. The colors are really, really bright, and there's no black seeds, no impurities. They're so pure. It's hands down the best qualities you can find.
Yeah, I noticed that you brought the two colors of the Szechuan peppercorns. One is the green one, right? And the one is the red one, which is more traditional, more what we know to be Szechuan peppercorn throughout like last like 10, 15 years that I've known Sichuan peppercorns.
It-
I've never actually seen the green ones until you brought them in.
Yeah, so actually the green ones is what inspired me to do the business. The red one has been used in cooking in China for thousands of years. It's actually the indigenous spice in China. A lot of people associate hot food or chili peppers to Sichuan food, but actually chili peppers is a Colombian exchange product, right? It was brought to China about 400 years ago from South America in the trade, in the global trade. But Sichuan peppers has been in China, been used in cooking for thousands of years. But traditionally has been the red one because it's just so, I mean, it's amazing. The aroma is dazzling, as you can see here.
Yeah.
Right, so all the famous dishes, mapo tofu, kung pao chicken, are using this one, are using the red Sichuan peppers. But about 30 years ago, a group of Chinese hot pot chefs,
Wow.
they realized, oh, the green peppers, which has been traditionally looked down upon, because they thought this is like a wild species growing next to the red ones. The red ones has been, as a tribute to the emperors over in history, but the green ones, they realized if we put the green ones in hot pot, the aroma really come through, and then this one actually nowadays has so many new recipes coming out of the chefs. The most famous one is they use this in seafood and in fish and vegetables because it's more vegetable. It's super
Floral.
super floral, lemony, and
Yeah.
a very strong lemony flavor. So I compare them as a glass of red wine and a glass of white wine. That's the relationship between these two. It's same species but two different varieties with very distinct flavor profile.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Along with Sichuan peppercorns, they're not the only, as we talked about this earlier, they're not the only things that kind of bring you that sensation of numbness, right? There's some other ones out there. What are some of the other ones that are notable?
Right. So Sichuan peppers is special because it's one of the very few ingredients in the world that gives a little buzzing, tingling, and numbing sensation. It's probably the most famous one. The other ones that I know of is the next one is, which is a cousin of this, is in Japan. The sensual peppers, shanjiao in Chinese. They are even more lemony than the green Sichuan peppers, and then it's milder in terms of the numbness. Usually, if you go have unagi, the eel, because unagi is so fat, they would put sensual powder on top of unagi. The other one that's famous, also there is also in Nepal, there's Timor. In Thailand, there's Makwan. Similar, so they're all cousins of this. But in Brazil, in the Amazonian jungle, there is actually a flower called the jambu. That's actually very different from. It's not a pepper or not a citrus fruit. It's a flower. Because Sichuan pepper is so famous and has been explored and exploited in food and drinks, they named the Brazilian numbing flower Sichuan basbac, even though it has nothing to do with Sichuan. It's from Brazil. It's been used in a lot of cocktails.
That's really cool that since Sichuan has such of that numbing, or not numbing, rather tingling sensation, right? So we want to avoid using the word numbing with Sichuan, but that tingling sensation that is so much associated with Sichuan, it was really interesting to find out that that flower was actually named after accordingly because of the tingling sensation it gives.
So about a month ago, the New York Times wrote a 6,000 word long form article about quote unquote life affirming properties of Sichuan peppers. In that article, it mentioned two things that I found very interesting. What you actually said earlier, how this Brazilian flower was named Sichuan basbac, right? Even though it has nothing to do with Sichuan. The other thing is also what you just mentioned, numbing, right? usually we call it numbing, or it's like the pins and needles feelings.
Mhm.
But actually, this is the opposite of numbing, because once you have this in food, all of a sudden you can feel a lot of other flavors and sensations on your tongue. This is the opposite of numbing. It's actually, it wakes up your sensation. Yeah, because it makes you salivate a lot.
Yeah, that's a really fun way to look at Szechuan peppercorn. A lot of people just noticeably always say it's a numbing sensation, but this is so much more dynamic than numbing, right?
True.
So we're talking about making you feel more things. It almost feels as if it's got a cooling effect, even, right?
Yes, that's why actually I think it will work really well in drinks and cocktails, because cooling effect is actually a very sought after effect in food. I feel like people like to add peppermint in their stuff, and then and it also balances it out. That's why this classic combo mala really works, because mala means heat and numbing in Chinese, but it's this classic combo from Sichuan. It's the combination of heat, chili peppers, and citron peppers, because it balances it out. It's like the balance of yin and yang, sort of. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to understand what you're working with here. So to excite the taste buds, really, what are some of the traditional ways you would say, or what are some of your favorite ways to use these Szechuan peppercorns?
Yeah, so
peppers.
Peppers.
Yes,
Thank
sorry,
you.
not
Yeah.
peppercorns.
Thank you. So I would, well, first of all, you made a also very good point. When we talk about this, when we talk about a sensation, it is very hard for people, if you are the uninitiated. It's hard to imagine, oh, how can a food makes my mouth tingle and numb? So you really have to experience it, right? So that's my job. For example, like that's why I founded this company, to introduce this. We need to make interesting products to let people experience, and then they would immediately get it. Oh, this is what you mean. This is like the tingling numbing sensation. But in terms of usage, traditionally, these peppers have been used in dishes like stir fry. For example, mapo tofu, kung pao chicken, these are classic dishes. But also, because of the aroma, people love using this. They would throw a few peppers in the soup or in the broth they make, either like a bone broth. It's super aromatic, so it's really effective to remove any gameness from the meat. People also use this to marinate any meat they would have, or like a barbecue. We also actually make the oil. The oil is actually made out of these peppers. The oils are more like a finishing oil. You can cook with it, but the oil really is like a finishing oil. It's just super easy. So any cold dishes you can make with this. But at the same time, as we will probably later show, right? We're gonna show some
I think we're
innovative.
Yeah, we were just trying to get into a little bit into that, right? This is kind of what sparked your interest in making this company happen, right? With the green Szechuan peppercorns. Talk us through, like, what was the initial dish when I guess you went back to China and visit your mom?
That was 2018. Yeah, so 2018, and I went home for Chinese New Year, and my mom was making a cucumber salad, which we're actually gonna show just in a bit. And she finished it off with this green citron pepper oil. So when I came back from China to the US, I'm based in Washington D.C. When I came back to D.C., I brought back a bottle of green citron pepper oil, and I've been using it on like a pasta dish. It's a very simple Thomas Keller recipe from his actually cookbook called Ad Hoc. So anyway, my partner who's from England, he said, "Wow, it's amazing! What is this flavor sensation? I've never had it before. I think it can go beyond Chinese food." So yeah, that's sort of inspired me of maybe citron pepper can go somewhere else, not just in the Chinese food making, but maybe it's an interesting flavor and sensation to explore. So that actually is inspired. Now we have the red and green peppers, the red and green oils. We also make snacks. We have like peanuts, Sichuan pepper peanuts. We make chocolates with it. We also even brewed 3 beers, Sichuan pepper beers. So yeah.
Yeah, that brings us to our other question that we were going to get into as well. You mentioned Sichuan peppercorns being used in newer things or different things like drinks, and you just mentioned beers as well. What are some of the other types of dishes that chefs are using in a new way to create a sensation beyond Chinese cuisine?
Yeah, so actually, I'll go from, for example, in Italian dishes. We actually see a lot of people using it on pasta and pizza, with the oil actually, just for drizzle a little bit, and then that because this sensation makes you salivate a lot, so the enzymes in saliva works really well with carbs. So that's one interesting usage I didn't think of before. The other one is a lot of my customers, they like to use this on their scrambled eggs for some reason. Yeah, that was actually quite interesting, and I use it now on my own scrambled eggs. It is very, very, very good. And then there's some interesting ones. Cookies, actually. Yeah, so actually a famous dessert chef, she used it in, she's Filipino American. She made a adobo chocolate chip cookie with our red Sichuan peppers.
Oh, that's
And yeah, there are quite a few others. Drinks. Oh my goodness. One of very famous cocktail bar and restaurants in New York City, they make a margarita. Ma as in like numbing in Chinese, like ma. And so it's a margarita. So they have like a margarita with a block of ice in the middle, and then they would actually grind red Sichuan peppers on top. So it's super aromatic. Yeah, it was really quite interesting.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to start using this in a lot more applications. We talk about being able to expand beyond Chinese culinary cuisine, and looking at it in other ways. But I definitely wanted to showcase your inspiration when you went to visit your mom, the cucumber salad. So let's go ahead and show them kind of how to do this beautiful cucumber salad. So we're going to go up on the up close camera. So we already cut some cucumbers. We smashed them.
It's key to smash them.
Because you allow more expansion for the surface area, so it allows the dressing to go up in there and to get a lot more flavor.
Yeah.
So this is a really great way to start.
It's interesting actually because this cucumber salad or smashed cucumber salad dish has now recently got a lot of momentum on TikTok.
Yes,
for whatever reason,
it has been a TikTok viral sensation.
So we actually made some. So basically, you cut the cucumber, you smash them, and you cut it. That takes a few minutes, and then you make a dressing. The dressing is very simple. It's garlic. You need a lot of garlic for this. Garlic is amazing. I love garlic. And then light soy sauce, black vinegar, a little bit sugar, and sesame oil. That's all. That's in this dressing. And then you put a little bit and then you mix them.
Yep.
And I would just pour this.
Yeah. And that's a super, super simple. I remember growing up, my mom always made the cucumber salad growing up, and it was always the garlic, it was always the chilies, it was always the rice vinegar in there. But also, the black Chinese vinegar is more traditional in this instance, and also the Sichuan peppercorns make such a great fragrance. And then you're going to finish it here with...
So we're just going to finish it with the green Sichuan peppers. Oh, yeah. Just a little bit. It's very potent.
It really is.
A little goes a long way. So...
It's such a beautiful fragrance that you get off of that oil. Yeah. You can smell it right away. It smells amazing. Yeah. Oh, that's great. So that's going to be a really delicious, easy treat to make yourself at home, or to do in a restaurant setting, or
you could also add actually a little bit. Usually, actually in China, you can be creative, right? My mom would add a little bit of toasted sesame seeds.
Oh yeah.
Or like a little bit cilantro, a lot of cilantro. or just some also like a green onions. Just chop some
Oh,
chives
yeah.
of green onions.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That makes for a very fine, delicious, bright,
Very
and
good.
easy salad to make in no time. It literally takes like 10 minutes to make.
Mhm.
And now we're going to get into showing you or showcasing a fun, different usage for Sichuan peppercorns or Sichuan peppers. I keep on saying peppercorns.
But to be honest,
Yeah.
guys, I think only I care about these things. To be honest, I say numbing, I say peppercorns as well. But I just wanna, my job is to point it out.
Mhm.
But I don't think we have to be so fussy about it, because it is what it is. So it's okay.
It's good. It's me catching myself wanting to correct myself, so that way we're more
Yes.
accepting.
I'm super actually curious what you're gonna make because
Okay.
this is a new application.
Yeah, this is something completely different. I just thought of it yesterday, so I was like, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how to put together a really quick and easy barbecue sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and go up to the close-up camera. This barbecue sauce starts off with crushed tomatoes. I blended this in our blender, so we got it on the heat. I'm going to go ahead and add some brown sugar to this. And then from there, we're going to, of course, one thing in my kitchen I always talk about is salt, always. Salt and everything helps with all the flavors. We're going to do some chili flakes in there. So this is basically taken from your classical, the Kansas City style barbecue sauce. So here we have some granulated garlic. We're going to add that. We have some onion powder as well, which we'll add, which got a little bit chunky. May need to blend that again. Some smoked paprika as well. I love smoked paprika. It just gives us that nice smokiness. Some chili powder and some ground mustard. So this is a very, very regular item. Yeah.
Why do you use chili flakes and chili powder?
So chili flakes have more of the heat behind it and is using crushed red chilies, whereas the chili powder can be a very mild chili. So it doesn't have that kind of heat to the background of it. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to take my whisk and whisk it up. Now, to give yourself a nice little shortcut, what I like to do is I'll just throw in some ketchup in here. So the ketchup has cornstarch, it has sugar, there's your sweet, you got your salty, you got all the ingredients in there to make a really great barbecue sauce. So ketchup is a really great shortcut for making an American style barbecue sauce or a Kansas City style barbecue sauce. So we're going to mix that all in there, and it's going to give us that nice smoothness and spreadableness or that latching on effect to whatever you put this on. So you can put this barbecue sauce on chicken, you can put it on anything. And then we're going to hit it with our finishing touch here, but you can either crush up some Sichuan peppers, or I'm going to just take that shortcut because this makes it so much easier, right? In a quick fashion, just to add this to your barbecue sauce. So you do a little drizzle of that Sichuan peppercorn oil or pepper oil, mix that in, and this can go over anything. With that being said, that's pretty much all you need to make your a new aged barbecue sauce. I'll put this on some chicken in a little bit, but let's go ahead and talk about some other applications that we've had for these, because we prepared some other fun things as well as just the barbecue sauce. That's a simple thing that any chef can do in their cafe. But these ones are a little bit more, unique to sweets and desserts. So we're going to pop that up on the close-up cam. So we made these ahead of time. These ones are amazing macarons, which we did. I used the green and red Sichuan peppers, and I call it like the Christmas macarons. So we got the Christmas Sichuan macarons, and then we got our Galaxy truffles on the right-hand side. I know the contrast on these cameras are a little intense, but in here I made a ganache with the Sichuan pepper oil, and then I coated everything with a nice, beautiful chocolate coating, and then finished it with some beautiful sugar. So that made for a really vibrant, amazing.
Can I try this?
Yes, absolutely. Please do. be my guest. These are one of my the things that we teach in our classes as well. So we did a buckwheat macaron here, which is very unique, very different, but also so fragrant with the feeling of those numbing spices, or not numbing spices, tingling spices like the Sichuan peppercorn. So I think this is such an amazing product that we can, get out of our comfort zone with food and try in different culinary cuisines.
This is so amazing. The macarons, I can smell the aroma.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my nose, and the numbing, tingling sensation comes through. It's an afterthought, and it comes through very gently, but it's there. I feel like it's really actually as an ideal application for what I want to do. Actually, I don't want to hit people with that numbing. This can really take people off. People think, oh, I'm having an allergy, but it's that mild, it's like electric. By the way, I want to mention why my company's got 50 hertz.
Yes.
Because the buzzing, numbing, tingling sensation, it makes your mouth buzzing at 50 hertz frequency. It's actually published in a peer-reviewed science paper in London. So, that's that electrifying sensation is what I want to achieve. I think these little macarons.
That's
You nailed
amazing.
it.
I love it. Thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah.
Again, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments, in the chats. If not, it's been an extreme pleasure to have you today and host you here. And, we look forward to using your products. We look forward to seeing what else your company is going to be doing in the near future here. So there's a question in the comment there. Are there ways of utilizing fresh Sichuan pepper in food versus dry?
That's amazing. That's a very, very good question. Thank you so much, Rosa. Yes, because actually, so let me step back a little bit. I'm glad you mentioned fresh Sichuan peppers, because these little guys, right? These are dried. So when they were fresh, they look like a little berries, right? So that's why I told you guys this is a citrus fruit. So when we first harvested, it's like I wish I had photos to show you, but it's like grapes, on the branches. So as any fruits, they go bad, they spoil quickly. So there are two ways to preserve them. One is to quickly dry them, and then in that whole drying process, the black seeds will fall out of the shell, and then we keep the shell. That's where the flavors are. So a lack of black seeds is really a key identifier. And then the other way is to infuse the fresh peppers in the oil. So that's how we make the oil. We infuse the fresh pepper. But they're actually in China, where the fresh peppers are available. It's incredible because people use the fresh pepper as a garnish on dishes. So one of the most famous dishes in China these days is this fish. So it's a fish boiled in usually green chili peppers and a lot of the green citron peppers, and then the chef would put the fresh green citron peppers on the top, and then they would pour when the dish comes to the table. They would have a bowl of boiling hot oil, and then they would pour, and it's gonna break the oil bumps on the fresh pepper, so the aroma will permeate the entire room, and it's very dramatic, right? It's like sizzling. So fresh pepper is actually will be put into very good use, but it is very difficult to preserve them, to transport them. So it's very difficult to get them in the US unless I can import them in the cold storage, in the cold container, which require volume. But hopefully we'll get there one day. Yeah.
All right. And we got another question. Do you ever mix red and green Szechuan peppers in a dish, or do you recommend using one or the other? Well, I think I answered that in my macros.
I was just gonna say that.
did use both of them for the fragrance and for the taste that I'm used to with the Sichuan pepper.
So absolutely, actually, one of our bestseller is actually our
Tingly peanuts.
tingly peanuts. So in this product, I'm gonna open one, and you will see we used
Yep, there's the red ones down at the bottom.
at the bottom. I wish you this better view.
You got the largest peanuts.
Yeah, I have the largest peanuts in the world, but you can see the red and green citron peppers. We used both because they have different flavor and aroma. This one has more of a woodsy, earthy, orangey aroma. This one is just dazzling, very bright, very
floral. Yeah.
So I want to keep both of them, and then also for me, actually, in the peanuts, the logic behind this, I also want to showcase both because for me, education is key. So people know about the red. So I want to put the green in it as well, so people know about the green. Both actually super numbing. Actually, on the numbness level, I know there's some papers talk about the red is more numbing than the green, but to me, honestly, they're already both too numbing. Yeah.
Well, I can sit here and talk Szechuan peppers all day. Oh wait, we got another question. Is it true that Szechuan pepper can also stimulate our brains at work? That's a really good one.
I actually think so. So the reason why I think I want to do this business is because I think people like sensation. People like to feel something when they eat. We're the lucky ones, right? Because we don't just eat to survive. We eat to enjoy. We eat to feel something. That's why we eat hot food, right? There's a competition to who can eat more spicy food, because that sensation stimulates your brain, and so your brain elicits positive chemicals. So yes, I think there's a joy and pleasure in being able to feel something. Actually, again, linking back to the New York Times article, the subtitle of that article is the life affirming properties of Sichuan peppers, the mouth numbing spice ever more popular in the West, remind us why we seek unique tastes. So I think there's a reason behind that.
Yeah, that is amazing to hear from you and to really, really dive in depth in the world of Sichuan and the peppers that you have. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We are at time, and thank you everyone for joining us at this edition of the Lead Grow Deepen. Super, super happy to have you here, and we'll see you next time. And if you want to look for his products, it's 50 Hertz and 50 Hertz Foods. And we'll leave on that note. And thank you again, everyone, for coming.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate it.